Chapter 1.2.9 Mixed Version Proxy. Kubernetes v1.31 introduces the alpha feature called the Mixed Version Proxy, allowing API server to redirect resource requests to other peer API servers within a cluster running different versions of Kubernetes. This feature aims to improve the safety of cluster upgrades by ensuring that users do not encounter unexpected 404 errors during the upgrade process. Enabling the Mixed Version Proxy. The text discusses the importance of enabling the unknown version interoperability proxy feature gate when starting the API server to ensure proper proxy transport and authentication between API servers. The source Kube API server uses existing client authentication flags to present its identity, which is verified by its peer. The destination API server authenticates the peer connection based on the configuration specified using the request header-client CA file argument. To authenticate the destination server's serving certs, a certificate authority bundle must be configured using the peer CA file argument. Peers can be configured using the peer advertise IP and peer advertise port arguments, with fallback values from advertise address or bind address if unspecified. If those are also unset, the host's default interface is used. Mixed version proxying. When mixed version proxying is enabled in the aggregation layer, a special filter is loaded to handle resource requests that reach an API server unable to serve a particular API. The server then attempts to send the request to a peer API server that can handle it based on API groups, versions, and resources that the local server doesn't recognize. If the peer server fails to respond, the source API server will return a 5003 error. Under the hood, when an API server receives a resource request, it first checks if it can handle the request using the internal storage version API. If the resource is known, it handles it locally. If not, and the server is configured to proxy to an extension API server, it follows the usual flow for extension APIs. If a valid storage version object is found, but the handling API server does not support the API, it proxies the request to a peer server that can handle it. If no peer is found, it eventually returns a 404 response. If a peer is found but fails to respond, a 503 error is returned due to issues like network connectivity problems.